Yes, it's good to be home. I just finished the repairs on the Jeep. A lot of you guys called that one. You knew the next repair video would be that leaky power steering pump reservoir. We thought it was the reservoir, and in a way it was, but you can watch the video and find out the story. Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. If you're new to the channel, we're going to get right to replacing the reservoir on this power steering pump. The pump is fairly new. I developed a leak on a trip I took to California and back here from Tennessee, and just limped it home. We're going to take this apart, hopefully find the leak and get it replaced. I started ahead of you all. The first thing I did was just remove the air box. It's just a bunch of clips. Take off your vacuum hoses and 3 13mm nuts on the bottom. I don't even have the new part yet, but I'm real curious to see where this one is leaking. So, like I said, I took the air box out, and I'll take this hose off here and the one on top next. And then beyond that is, beyond the hose is an adjuster down here for your fan belt. So I'll loosen that up, and we'll start going after the attachment bolts here so we can get the fan belt off. Still got a little oil. Well, you know what? I'm just going to let it drain. I got a pan underneath. No matter. This line on top here is a 16mm. The adjuster bolt underneath here is a 13. Let's loosen that up. Nothing's going to move yet because all the other fasteners are tight, but we'll get to that next. In my case, this bolt here is a 10, but I think I had to replace it, so this might be a different size on your application. 2 bolts on the back side here are 13. Alright, with those loose, now we can get the belt off. Alright, what's next here? Looks like the retaining bolt for the adjuster down here, and that's it. The only thing holding the reservoir on are 2 clips. We'll lift this tang up. This portion here, lift up, that's the locking device. Up and hit it at the same time here. Nope, hitting the... There we go. Got a couple of hits on there. Alright, same thing on the bottom. The leak is coming from the area where the O-ring is. But I can't find anything wrong with the O-ring or the casting. There's no cracks or obvious damage in the reservoir in that part of the reservoir. So I don't know what's going on. I might try a different O-ring. If the one that shows up is a slightly different size, that might explain it. As far as I know, this is the original O-ring because I only changed the pump. I didn't change the reservoir when I first got this Jeep. But oh well, we'll just keep looking here. That might have been all over this reservoir. Cleaned and dried. I filled it full of water, plugged off the holes and let it sit. I didn't do that on camera because I didn't have enough hands, to tell you the truth. I cannot find a leak. I can't find damage, so I don't know what's going on. Since the new part's on the way, I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. And like I said, if the O-ring, if it comes with a new O-ring, great. If not, I'm going to go and try to find a O-ring that might fit better. I did notice it fits very well here, tightly, but it doesn't fit down into the, it doesn't fit in this hole very good. It's real loose. However, I think the way it seals is up against that shiny area there, that boss. That's probably, whoop, now I got it dropped.
Package from Canada.
Oh, how about that? Perfect timing. Reservoir just showed up. We were just talking about reservoir. So, I did some research and found a couple of complaints that the cap here is doesn't. Okay, made me nervous for a minute. It's a different type of cap, but hey, cap's a cap as long as it works. New one's on the left. This is the old one. Real hard to tell. This, you know, does have some age to it. It might have shrunk a little, but it looks the same to me. All right, new O-ring is lubed up. Just press it in place. Pop. It doesn't feel very tight. Of course, who knows what it's supposed to feel like, right? It just feels differently than the old one. I'll put the new clips in place. These just slide on. You got this little tab here that goes towards the outside. Alright, reservoir's got some fluid in it. I did replace the new clips with the old ones because it does hold the reservoir tight. But it's still leaking. Brand new part, guys. I saw this in the reviews, sure enough. So I think what's going on is the O-ring does not have enough thickness to mate in the pump itself. There's a machine surface that goes up against this O-ring that squeezes it together, and it should seal. And either this spring type connection they have isn't tight enough, or it's tight but this isn't sealing. So what I think I'm going to try to do, and I already tried this idea, was to fill up a void behind the O-ring. Behind the O-ring, but I have nothing that'll fit on that. So what I think the other thing I can do is try to reduce some of the material. See if I can get this oriented. Sits this way. So I need to reduce some of this material here, if that makes sense. And that way when the clamp's together, there's less material, giving it more chance to squeeze together. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. Let me just say, you shouldn't have to be doing this kind of stuff with new parts. But what I did was went back to the old reservoir, because this location for the drain or the return line is from the original. The other reservoir had it on the back. The reservoir itself's different shape. Yeah, it fit, no problems, but it leaked. These are the old clips. These are the old reservoir. Okay, everything's installed. It's still dry. I sprayed everything with brake clean and then air dried it, pressurized air. And it's been sitting for about 10 minutes now. I want to go have some dinner, and I'm going to come back and check this before I crank it up and give it a start. It's full. Everything else looks good. Tightened up the 13 millimeters in the back. Do those first. This one on top. The retainer on the bottom for the adjuster there. Just get them to where they're snug, and then tighten up your adjuster, and then tighten up your bolts. And it'll all come together for you. It did for me. Removed some material off the metal of the power steering pump. That allowed this plastic body to mate up closer to the metal part with these clips. These are the original clips. This is the original power steering reservoir. Just a new O-ring. This so far is dry. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm going to put the rest of this together and go back in the house, and I'll check it in the morning. God, I hope it's dry. I don't know what else to do. Alright, just came back from my test drive and all is well, finally. So I just got back from test driving the Jeep again, and it's still dry, so I got that figured out. I'm glad that I did, because it was bugging me. Strange fix at the end there, but I'm glad it worked. So the Jeep is done, and it's time to move on to other things. I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video.